Today we've got this old dresser. We're going to be spraying it with the critter sprayer with milk paint, and then we're also going to be giving it a fun two-tone look.
I'm going to be using the white wax, which is probably something you've seen me use before, but Zeb's going to give you some tips and tricks on how to make your detail pop by two-toning it with an artist brush.
Before I start painting it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this hardware. We really like the patina on it. It's really cool. It's got kind of like a lion face on it. So I'm going to spray it with Purple Posies by Sweet Pickins Milk Paint. This is my critter sprayer. I'll put the link down below so it's easy to find for you guys if you're interested. It works great for this milk paint. You can spray a ton of other things with it too. It works for chalk paint, sealers. It does a really good job. So this is what this hardware looked like originally when it was put on. And this is what it looks like now after years and years of age, and we love this. This is the look we're going for. I think this is the first time we've ever sprayed anything purple on the channel, so it's a momentous occasion. So when I was setting the paint and sprayer up today, I mixed them with my immersion blender and 1 part paint to 1 part water on that. And then I added a splash of Extra Bond. And when I say a splash, like a teaspoon of Extra Bond, not a whole lot. We want this to get pretty chippy. If you want to help the milk paint not chip, use the recommended amount. All right, onto those repairs I was talking about. This side has this fun decorative little detail. This side is missing it. So I've just got some cedar fencing here, just a cheap $2 board from Home Depot. And it's about the right thickness that I need. This is about just a hair over ½ an inch. And I think this comes plain down 5/8 of an inch. If you watched our video we did on building ladders and aging them, this is kind of the same process. We used a paint wash, and this is just brown paint. It's in DIY in the layered chocolate, and I've just got it watered down, probably about 8 to 9 parts water to 1 part paint, somewhere close to that. And I just need to get this wood so that it doesn't look like brand new fresh cedar, because when we go to distress the Purple Posy paint off of it, it will look real white and stark, and you'll be able to tell that it's a newer piece.
It's painted and we're ready to distress. I have my mask, my orbital, and my 220 sandpaper. We've already got some good chippy up here. A lot of that I'll blow off with my air hose when I'm all done sanding. So I went over the whole surface to remove all the chipping and smooth it out. There's a few areas that are chippy up here that I can't get my sander in. So I'm gonna take my air hose and my nozzle. I'm gonna spray everything off and make sure all the chippy's gone. If you don't have an air hose, try a stiff bristle brush. I've got a fresh tub of DIY wax and my Pink Pixie wax brush. I'm gonna come in and I'm just gonna go around all the edges with the white wax to highlight it. I've been doing this a lot lately, and the white waxed furniture is very popular. It gives it a soft kind of French country look. It's kind of my go-to. But I don't like to white wax the whole thing because then it takes away from the color. Once I've done this without waiting for it to dry, I'm gonna come in with DIY clear wax. And I'm gonna come in the middle first, smear it in. And then I'm gonna come brush it across. So before that sets up, I take a lint-free rag and I just come back and rub it in. I'll let it sit about 2 hours Then come back and clear wax the whole piece, let it sit overnight, and buff it.
I've got some DIY in vintage linen and my Paint Pixie French round brush, and I'm going to be painting these details on here in the vintage linen color. So I don't need a whole lot of paint on here, just the tip of my brush. And you can see the milk paint chipped way more right here than it did over there. Kind of does its own thing. There may have been something on here before that I didn't anticipate being on there, but it's all right. It just kind of lends to the chippy look we're going for. So I'm just gonna take this right here and go over all the tops of these details without trying to get any paint down here on these. And if you haven't guessed, we'll be distressing this back as well. Probably do a wet distress on this. Now if you get some paint down in here where you don't want, this is water soluble, so a damp Q-tip or the tip of a rag would pull that right back off. I've got a damp cloth and there's a couple little spots just here and there where I messed up with the brush. And I don't want it really wet, it's just lightly damp because I don't want to reactivate that milk paint underneath. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lightly rub on this here until it's gone, or blend it in at least. Now I'll do a little wet distress on here, just bring some of that detail back up, but it'll still have that fun white contrast. To accentuate the effect of the white even more, I'm going to do a white wax on here real quick, just like Jamie did on the sides. Kind of highlight the areas here, and then I'll come back with clear before it dries and go over the top of this and blend it in. And then we'll wait for a couple of hours and then do clear wax over the top and then buff that out tomorrow sometime once it's sat. Alright, now back in with the clear wax. I'm going to do just like she did it, start in the middle first. It's going to blend with that white wax a little bit, but it's also going to thin it out and pull it so it's not such a sharp contrast. This wax brush is really nice for getting down in all these cracks. Alright, now I'm going to go back in and wipe off the excess so that I get my purple posy color back.
So what started out as a really cute outfit day for me turned into hot and sweaty ponytail and t-shirt.
It happens.
It
I
happens.
start out that way in t-shirt.
I should have known better, right? But I totally think
My
it was
hair's
worth
always back. I always have it back in a ponytail.
it. Your side hairs. I totally think it was worth it for this awesome dresser. So it turns out Purple Posies is like a really soft gray with lavender hues. I wouldn't say it's like an over-the-top purple color, which is perfect because I wanted something soft and subtle that would look really great in the shop.
Yeah, looking at it here with the white wax on it, I'd say it's more of like a deeper gray.
I'm calling it lavender.
We'll go with that.
But I no, Zeb's a dude, so he's just seeing the gray colors.
I don't see purple.
It's out of your spectrum. Here's a rundown of the products we used. We used Purple Posies with just a dash of Bond, right?
Yeah, just a little bit.
We didn't want it to all chip off, but it was pretty dry, so we just put a little bit in there and we got a really good chippy finish. A really inconsistent chippy, which is important because that's more authentic when you've got a little more chippy here than maybe other places.
Yeah.
And then we used the DIY clear wax And the DIY white wax. What brushes do we use?
We use the Paint Pixie wax brush, and we also use the Paint Pixie French round up on the detail that I did with the DIY in vintage linen is the color that's on that.
Oh, okay. I didn't want you to do that, so I didn't even know which one you used. Well, that's perfect because vintage linen pulls gray, so it pairs really well with this lavender gray color. I was originally thinking I might paint the hardware, but I wanted to wait, and I'm glad that I did because the patina looks really great, and now that this is a much lighter color, their hardware pops. You want to save original hardware and reuse it anytime that you can.
So to get all these products that we used, you can find them at jamirayvintage.com.
If you like this video, share it with your friends. We'd love to help you and the people that you know with their DIY projects.
Be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Jami Ray Vintage for more
DIY.